What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are bringing you guys our very first coverage of the NFL playoffs. So, starting off, I'm Kevin Jones.
My name is Jordan Mose.
And I'm Asante Grundy. What's up, guys?
So, typically, y'all know us as the Disciples of Wrestling. So, of course, y'all can still call us that, D-O-Dub. But, of course, now we go under the banner of the boys, and we are giving you guys a new show where we cover the NFL, and it is called Fourth and Down. So now we're going to go into the playoff games. I got them up here, and I'm going to show you guys and read them off to you guys. All right? So we're going to start off with this, guys, and of course I'm going to ask you guys flat out what y'all thought of these games as we recap them. Right after we go down the games game by game, then that's when we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about the big shocks, and of course we're going to break down our brackets of what we think is going to be the outcome with the Super Bowl. All right?
Indeed.
So we're going to start off with the first game this weekend in Wild Card Weekend. We have ourselves the Bengals versus the Raiders, with the final score being 26-19. What did you guys think of it? Let's start off with Jordan. What did you think of it, bro?
Hey, yo, that boy Joey Burrow, he bad, bro. That's my guy. I'm mad serious. Like, throughout, at least the entire, front to back end of the season, the Bengals were the most exciting team to watch this entire season. And coming into this game, that did not change. Him and Jamar Chase are amazing together. One of the best quarterback wide receiver duos that we have in the league pretty much at this point, even though they've only been together for a year, a little bit under a year, pretty much, since Joe might have been injured for a little bit. But yeah, the way that they've come together has been amazing. This game honestly played out exactly how I thought it would play out. I expected the Bengals maybe to score a little bit more, but the Raiders, they did not go away fighting. I know that people are going to talk about that blown call that the referees had, just in blowing the whistle dead before that touchdown that Joe threw to Tyler Boyd, but I don't think that changed the outcome of the game by that much. I think that the Raiders were kind of behind in terms of preparation, especially for that final drive. Eventually, Carr threw that pick and kind of sealed everything, but the way that the Bengals played, they know their identity and they know what they're going about. Pretty much all that I suggested they do is kind of spread the wealth. We saw Jamar, he had, I believe, 9 receptions, 116 yards around there. So as long as they continue to kind of spread the wealth throughout the offense, you still have T. Higgins, you still have Tyler Boyd, you still have Joe Mixon in the backfield as well. So as long as they kind of spread the wealth, they should be fine moving forward. But yeah, this went exactly how I thought it would, pretty much.
Okay. So what did you think of this, Asante?
Yeah, my boy Joe Burrow, he showed out. His stats weren't the 300 yards type overall dominant performance, but he was very solid. I don't think he had any interceptions too, I don't recall. So he was very good, and him and Jamar Chase, they're going to be fun for years to come. Like Jordan said, they're one of the top duos in the whole league. Already. And Jamar Chase is going to win Rookie of the Year. He's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. So just stamp that right now. And I honestly think the Bengals can do some damage. So we'll see what happens.
No, honestly,
Okay.
My pick to win it, since my beloved team is out at this point, is the Bengals. There's no one I would love to see more win it than the Bengals. If I had to put money on it, I'm probably going to pick another team, which we'll talk about a little bit later, but there's no one who I'd love to see win it more than the Bengals.
Oh yeah, Joe Burrow is on fire. I've really liked how he played last year before he got hurt, and I definitely think he's come full circle of what he is, and I think his sophomore year, he is letting everybody know that he's here to stay. So, moving on to your beloved Pat story.
Oh boy.
We're going to talk about this game. It was very rocky for you guys.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about this Bills-Patriots game in Buffalo, and it was very known that it was in Buffalo. 47-17. Jordan, do you want to talk about what happened in this game, sir?
Not really, but I'll talk about it. we didn't do anything right. Like we did nothing right. And I told my roommate specifically, like when he asked me, did I have faith that we were gonna win this game? I said, I don't care because we're not gonna win anyway. Like I really predicted the Bills were gonna win. After playing them already 2 times throughout the season. Of course, the first was kind of an aberration where we didn't really throw the ball. Like we threw the ball 3 times, just rushed the entire game. So you knew that wasn't going to happen again. The second game, Bills kind of got a sense of what's going on, and our game plan made us pass the ball more, eventually ended up beating us. So coming into this game, they already knew the scheme. They already knew everything that was pretty much going to happen on offense at least. And Bill Belichick really didn't change the game plan pretty much. It just kind of like balanced it out between passing and running, but Bills defense had an answer for everything, especially early on. It didn't reach 17 until like the third, fourth quarter. So everything that they were doing in the first half put this game away to the point where it wasn't even an option that we could win anymore. Like unless it pulled off some like Bills Oilers type of comeback, it wasn't gonna happen. So I'm definitely a little disappointed, but not surprised. Mac didn't play his best. We don't really have a lot of like standout weapons on offense as the Bills do. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, we know the names. Devin Singletary has been running out of his mind as of late, though, which I am definitely appreciative of now. He didn't do so much on my fantasy team last year, but he has been killing it for the past at least like 3 to 4 games, and so he's really coming into his own in perfect time. So, yeah, I didn't expect this to be like such a wide margin of victory, but I expected the Bills to win in some capacity, though.
What did you think about this, Asante?
Yeah, so, I went with Mac Attack before the game started, but I really wasn't expecting such a dominant performance from the Bills. I thought it was going to be a lot closer, but I really believed Mac could have pulled the upset, but at the same time, it's his first year. He has a lot to learn. He has a bright future. So definitely he should keep his head high because he really did have a good season. And Josh Allen, he was just incredible. He was fun to watch. Like, man, like, I think he's out for blood. That Chiefs loss last year, I think that's still in his head. And they face each other this weekend, so you best believe revenge is on his mind. And if he plays like that, then the Chiefs might be in trouble.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I think the one thing with like Mac Jones, of course, with it being his first season, he didn't really or hasn't really yet come into his own. But I think he is kind of that Tom Brady kind of ilk in terms of just like being more so of a game manager than like a guy, at least for Tom earlier in his career, who was gonna like take over games a lot. He's not there yet. Like he's not Josh Allen who can run it with his legs or throw like that perfect pass with like that awesome arm and just like make the play because they don't have the weapons also. Like that's the reason Brady left in the first place. So I think he will of course come into his own. He definitely has a bright future. I think he'll be back in that playoffs a little bit more just in that setting. But here it's not the right team for this, and Belichick is gonna have to look at a lot during the postseason in terms of offense to kind of get them where they want to be, and that's winning championships again.
Oh yeah, I definitely see that. Like when it came down to it, when I looked at it as well, when you talk about the Patriots way and how they like their quarterbacks, Mac Jones is definitely the way. It's just when they scooped up a bunch of people this past offseason, it was a bunch of B-list and very C-list guys, so they weren't going to make a big impact on the team. But Mac Jones and the Patriots, of course, did their best with what they did and won the games that they should have won. So I definitely believe the Buccaneers lost this past season, and the regular season definitely lit a fire under them like they needed it to. But Mac Jones is definitely, and Bill Belichick is definitely going to reevaluate a lot of the offense and the defense as well. So we're going to see what that's turned into in the offseason, and I think it's going to be very entertaining on the Patriots side because the Patriots are not shy of getting free agents at all.
Yeah, I'm hopeful. Like, I hope it does good, but the Bills they the top team in the AFCs at this point for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Definitely.
All right, so moving on to the next game, we got Buccaneers versus Philadelphia Eagles. we're gonna start off with Asante, because this is your team now. They didn't play their best. So let's go ahead and let me ask you, what did you think happened in this game?
They didn't show up. That's what happened. Like,
Okay.
clearly.
As long as you know.
They didn't show up. I mean, obviously, when you wait till the fourth quarter to score, that's too late to score. When you go up against Tom Brady, you gotta score quick. You gotta, your defense has to be on point because Tom Brady's weakness, you have to get to him. And Tom Brady, he was just on his game pretty much last night. Like, believe it or not, I actually picked the Bucs to win this game because I just knew that Tom was going to just show out. And even though they were banged up because the Bucs aren't 100%, I knew that they were going to come out and win this game. I thought, now the margin is kind of what I was expecting. But if I told you it was going to be 31-0 at one point, I would have been like, nah, I couldn't see that. But, I mean, I'm glad we at least got 2 touchdowns. And Jalen Hurts, I mean, he's good. He's hurting. He has a lot to learn. And I'm still questioning if he's the guy for us for the future because there's talks of us getting Russell Wilson, and we have 3 first-round picks in this upcoming draft, so it's kind of like we'll see what happens. But I wouldn't be surprised if Jalen Hurts was on a new team next year. That's all I'm saying.
Y'all been having a quarterback issue since Michael Vick left. Y'all haven't had any right answers. Y'all had Carson Wentz. Y'all thought he was about to save the world, boy. He over here injury prone as can be. Boy, goddamn, got y'all to the playoffs. They're like, y'all, he won the playoffs for us. I'm sorry, Nick Foles won the playoffs for y'all. So I don't know what to tell you. Y'all's biggest regret was letting go of Nick Foles. That was y'all's biggest regret. He was the way to go. But I saw it when it happened. But I mean, y'all are still learning. Unfortunately, after all these years, y'all are still learning.
And the good thing about us, we're one of the youngest teams in the league, minus our O-line, so we still got a lot to learn. So
wouldn't call that a good thing. We remember when the Bengals was there when Andy Dalton and AJ Green, and they was young, losing the first playoff game every season.
I mean, that's because they have Marvin Lewis. They won't go win anything anyway. But
it's all good. So, moving on to the next game. I know the way this order has been going, we've been going down each one of our teams. Before we even talk about this game, for all them Boys fans, let me let y'all know, we are not the best team in the NFL. We haven't been the best team in the NFL for a long time. Honestly, I'm happy with what we did this season. I thought we could do more, but I'm happy with what we got. So, we're going to talk about this game now. And it's Cowboys 49ers. The final score was 23-17. I guess I'll start off. How this game went is how all Cowboys games go.
Correct.
We started playing in the second half and stopped playing in the fourth quarter. So realistically, we only played one quarter in the last 2 minutes of the game. So for all those Cowboy fans that do know the truth, that is the truth. So we're going to go ahead and start off with Mr. Asante. You go ahead and take it over from here, bro.
Yeah, okay, so I knew this was going to be a tough game for Dallas heading in. Niners are pretty much playing some good football right now. Jimmy G almost blew that game for him last night, especially making the turnovers. Like, it's playoff football, you can't do that. And going up against the Packers next week, if you do that against A-Rod, he's going to make you pay. So, I mean, he's lucky he got away with it because the Cowboys are a talented team, and they could have easily turned that into points. But, I mean, at the same time, It was a really good game, though. I enjoyed that game, and it was very close, too. Had Dak slid earlier, and he could have had an end zone shot and possibly scored a touchdown. But at the same time, it's like, Dak, that offense is too explosive. You need to show up when it matters. And, you can't have lackluster performances. So, I mean, yeah, you had a nice dime to Amari Cooper, but that, you need to do more than that. So, yeah.
Nah, I think.
What's your opinion, sir?
I think with them in this game, the Cowboys should have won this game. Like, they were by far the more talented team, the better team on the field.
Yeah.
And they could not get out of their own way. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
14 penalties, tying the most penalties they've had in a playoff game ever. The end of that game, of course, we can kind of talk about Dak and just kind of not understanding the situation a little bit further, just sliding a little bit earlier, possibly. But, like, at that point, he still probably forgot that he would have to give the ball to the referee to spot the ball because you can't spot it yourself, my dude. And even then, it was going to leave at least maybe 1 or 2 seconds on the clock, but maybe not even that, considering the referee might have given it a more generous or even like a worse spot than it might have been. But he still had to spot the ball. So I think all of that comes down to just like execution, both on his end, both on the coach's end, because you're supposed to be at least a little bit prepared for that situation and have the knowledge of like, all right, why am I calling a draw play when we have 14 seconds left, knowing we need to spike the ball? I don't know if that's on the OC Kellen Moore. I don't know if that's on Mike McCarthy or not, but at the end of the day, specifically for that game, it's just execution on that last end and then just discipline on those penalties. But they definitely had a shot to play this game. The 49ers running the ball with Samuel and Mitchell were dogging them at every turn. They didn't pass the ball extremely well. Kittle didn't really have a big game, if any game. I think he maybe only had 1 to 2 catches. But yeah, they were killing them in terms of just running the ball down their throats. And so that's mainly why they won this game along with their defense. But yeah, Dallas should have at least had a chance. You hate to see the game kind of end that way, but at the end of the day, you got to know better.
Yeah, you hate to see it. So, moving on to the last game of, it's not the last game of the wild card round, my bad. But it is the last game that we have seen live. The next game is about to play in about 2.5 hours. So, let's go ahead and talk about the Chiefs versus the Steelers, where the final score read Chiefs 42, Steelers 21. Asante, what you think about this game, homie?
Yeah, I kind of knew the Chiefs were going to come in and get the W. Shout out to Big Ben. He had I'm pretty sure this is his last game. So, he's had a heck of a career, 2-time Super Bowl champion, definitely the best Steelers quarterback in history. And he's definitely paved the way for some quarterbacks, not all, because everybody looks at the Tom Brady's and Aaron Rodgers and all that. But Big Ben has played a big role in the NFL too, and finishing his career as on one team and being known as a Steeler, that's just a great accomplishment and one of the most successful franchises. So I just had to give out my final shout out and goodbye to Big Ben on a great career. And also the Chiefs, they look hungry. I think they heard all the noise at the beginning of the season where everybody was like, oh yeah, they might not even make playoffs, because at one time the Chiefs were like 2-4 and like they were last in the division. So I believe they heard all that noise, and I'm starting now to believe, don't count out Patrick Mahomes, because this man is easily a top 3 quarterback, and he's already have a Super Bowl and an MVP. So yeah, and Tyreek Hill, man, what a stud. And Kelsey had a game last night. So I mean, Chiefs are going to be tough to beat, so we'll see how they finish out.
Yeah, Chiefs should definitely be the team to beat at this point. I think they've proven that they can get it done consistently. Of course, they had their kind of pitfalls earlier in the season, but they proved that they can get to the Super Bowl and make noise in the playoffs, especially having a not even top 3, but a top 2 and not 2 quarterback in the backfield. Definitely helps out things. I think we really forgot earlier on in the season how good Patrick Mahomes really is. Aaron Rodgers is probably going to win MVP, and Josh Allen was going off for most of the season, but don't sleep on Patrick Mahomes, please. Don't do that. So yeah, this game went pretty much how I thought it would. They ran it down their throats, passed it down their throats. That defense, while earlier on in the first quarter they were kind of good, they just couldn't keep up with everything that was going on. So there's some things just in terms of preparation I don't think that they prepared for, and you can't really ever prepare for the Chiefs kind of in that capacity anyway. If it is Big Ben's last game, I think it is. More power to you. Get out. Not that he's not a Hall of Famer, but you definitely stuck around too long. Guy.
He's definitely been around.
Yeah. The Steelers don't have a plan at quarterback at this point, so I don't know what they're gonna do. But yeah, time to go. But yeah, so we'll see what happens moving forward. I definitely think the Chiefs are that team to beat. I firmly expect them to beat. I believe they're playing the Bills this upcoming week. I believe they'll beat the Bills and kind of go moving forward. If they have a rematch with the Bengals, that's what I'm looking forward to. But I think they definitely have staked their claim in everything that they're doing for sure.
Yeah, not surprised by this game, really. I think the only hope was the fact that this was Big Ben's last game. They were like, yeah, let's go out with a bang. Well, they did. It was double the score. Chiefs was out there. Yeah, Chiefs was out there hitting their greatest hits out there. It was it was looking rough for your boys. Big Ben knew what time it was came halftime. He knew what time it was. He was like, I've been here numerous times before. Might as well just go ahead, wrap up my things now, start folding it up, get ready to sign
Big
this
Ben Big Ben was in Cancun already, no?
Yeah, he over
that boy
there.
was retired already.
Yeah, homie was out here ready to sign some jerseys, out here ready to swap one last time. He was ready to throw in the towel, the terrible towel. He knew what time it was. He should have threw it in a lot earlier. He needed to stop playing.
Correct.
That year he got hurt was the time he should have threw that terrible towel in. But I mean, moving on to really the big shocks. Were there any big shocks for you guys this past weekend and wildcard weekend?
I expected the Raiders game to be a little bit closer than it kind of was throughout the course of the game. I'm surprised Hunter Renfrow didn't have as big as a game that I thought he would have. He was kind of doing really good just in terms of touchdowns and productions over the past 5-6 weeks. So I think the fact that he didn't get a lot of offense in that one kind of hindered them a little bit. I think the Bengals really prepared well for it. Outside of that, just the fact that we had all of these blowouts pretty much. You think with the playoffs, it's supposed to be the best of the best, but Bills blowing out the Patriots, the Chiefs blowing out the Steelers, and the Buccaneers pretty much essentially, even though the score doesn't really reflect it, blowing out the Eagles as well.
It was a blowout.
So just things like that really stuck out.
Yeah, what was your big stuck out, Asante? Was it the same thing?
Yeah, the blowouts. Mainly the Patriots-Bills game. I thought that was going to be a lot closer. That's the only thing. But nothing really too shocking. I mean, we could get something tonight maybe, but overall from the weekend, I would just go with the Patriots-Bills. That's pretty much it.
So for me, I would say them boys, but that wasn't really a shocker for me. That's been
Wasn't a shock at all. Wasn't a shock at all to me.
I'm over here this sounds like every Sunday type of deal for us. But definitely what Jordan said, the blowouts were my biggest surprise. A lot of these teams weren't even in the game. This was rough. You had, and I think the thing is, you had a lot of teams that did really good starting out and were lackluster the rest of the way. So you're really not getting a lot of teams hot. So I think that's one of the things that happened is the teams that won were the teams that were getting hot and knew they had to get hot for the playoffs. So a lot of these teams are teams that ain't even familiar with the playoffs. You got the Raiders. Shoot, I mean I could end there. Yeah, the Patriots. The Patriots are young. They didn't make the playoffs last year. There is really no surprise now. This is Mac Jones' first season. Eagles. What do you want me to say? I mean, them boys, we didn't even make it last year, so I'm really not even surprised. Dak Prescott had a broke leg. My man's leg was doing the stingy leg. And then the Steelers. Big Ben is over here with a full body brace. I'm really not surprised that he got knocked out, him and his boys. So really, I mean, that was the only differential. But so rest of the way, we have Divisional Weekend coming up. How we have it. How are the games set up right now, Asante?
So the on the NFC side, we have the Packers versus the 49ers, and the winner of the Cardinals Rams, they will go on to Tampa, and that's the NFC side. And the AFC side, we have the Bills versus the Chiefs, and we have the Titans versus the Bengals.
All right, so who y'all got, Titans or Bengals?
Hey, give me the Bengals, man. I know Derrick Henry might be coming back, but I do not care. Give me everything that is going on with the Bengals right now. They are in peak form. Their three levels of defense are really coming together kind of as one. I think they're coming into final form at the right time. So, yeah, give me the Bengals.
Yeah, who you got, Asante?
Yeah, I'm rolling with Joey B. I mean, I think he's going to beat the Titans, and like Jordan said, I don't think even if Henry plays, he's not going to be much of a factor since he hasn't played football in a few months, so he definitely has to get back to form. But I'm going with the Bengals on this one.
I also have the Bengals, Joe B. Just know you got a fan out of me. This is going to be. I think it's going to be a close game, ish. But overall, the Titans snuck their way to number 1 seed, and they're going to show why they snuck their way.
And they deserve to make the playoffs too. Like without Derrick Henry, like they've been playing really, really well. Depending that they've missed one of the best running backs in the league, but
they're not ready.
I think the Bengals got it.
They're not ready for this.
I don't think so. Yeah.
So next up, we got Chiefs versus Bills. Who y'all got? Jordan, go ahead.
This is probably the most interesting game, depending on who does win this Monday night. But yeah, give me the Chiefs. Like I said a little bit earlier, I would love to see the Bills win, just because I just love the way that they play. I love Josh Allen. I love their running game. I love their passing game and everything that they do on defense. But yeah, give me the Chiefs with this one. I think they're coming into form at the right time as well, and just everything has been coming together just for their passing game, especially in that last game. What they did to the Steelers was really surgical, so I don't think that's gonna change. It's going up against that Bills defense at all.
Yeah, Mr. Asante, who you got, sir?
Yeah, I'm rolling with the Chiefs too. I'm scared to go against Mahomes, so I'm taking the safe bet and going the Chiefs. I would not be surprised if the Bills pulled this one off, but
correct, yeah.
But I'm rolling with the Chiefs because I'm just too scared to go against Mahomes. And it all comes down to the Bills' defense, because the Bills' defense is pretty good. And if they can find a way to neutralize Mahomes, they can really make it interesting. But at the end,
absolutely,
I'm going with the Chiefs.
I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like Adele rolling in the deep, and I think the Bills gonna do it. I think they're gonna do it. I think the Bills got it. I think it. Why? Do I have a valid reason? No. I just think the Bills gonna do it. I just think.
Hey, they're fun to watch. I'm hoping they win. Shoot.
I hope they win too. I just don't want to see Chiefs go. That's why I'm betting against them.
That's fair.
I just don't want to see them go again. This is getting disgusting. I'm ready for something new.
Right.
All right. So on to the NFC side. We're gonna go ahead. We got ourselves the 49ers at the Packers. They go on to Lambeau. I'm looking at my nails because I know what's about to happen. All right, fellas. Asante, let's go ahead and start off with you this time around. Who you got, man?
I'm going with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, it's in Lambeau, the frozen tundra. But I do have a fun, interesting fact for y'all. Did you know in the playoffs that the Packers are 0-3 against the 49ers?
So that stat is from back in the day.
Yeah.
That's from
I mean,
that was back when Steve Young was playing.
Actually, no.
Colin
Colin
Kaepernick got him
Kaepernick
once.
dominated them a few.
He did.
Yeah,
I do remember that. Now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I do remember that.
yeah. So that's one of the fun facts. But I'm going with Aaron Rodgers. He's just been playing out of his world this whole year. He's definitely my MVP pick as well. And it definitely, if Nick Bosa doesn't play, I just think that's a much bigger advantage for the Packers. So I'm rolling with that.
Yeah.
Who you got, Joe?
Absolutely. Yeah. If you told me Nick Bosa was going to play, I might give them some sort of chance for the Niners. But yeah, it's the Packers all the way. Hey, if they didn't have Devontae Adams, I would pick the Niners. I'm not going to lie to you. I think their offense is just very explosive at times. If they get Kittle and Samuel going, then they can make strides. They led the NFL, I believe, in plays over 20 yards this season. So things like that, they can kind of give them an advantage. But A-Rod to Devontae Adams is nasty, and it doesn't fail. And I think the Packers defense is good enough to at least neutralize or at least slow down the run game of the 49ers better than the Cowboys were able to do. So, yeah, give me the Packers all day.
Well, it's unanimous, fellas. We are going with the Packers. It's Pack Attack. I think Aaron Rodgers is beyond his stride. And I think, unfortunately, the 49ers are going to be the first team to see that. So let's go ahead and go to tonight's game. Arizona versus Los Angeles. Who do y'all have? The Rams versus the Cardinals. Who do y'all have?
Give me the Rams, dog.
Yeah.
I want to pick the Cardinals because I really want to see the Cardinals do good, but I think the way that the Rams offense has been operating, OBJ is definitely getting into his stride, just being with the team for at least 3 or 4 weeks. I think he's finally hitting. You will see that in like the last couple of games, just have that game-winning touchdown. So I think they're finally hitting that stride with Cooper Kupp in the mix as well, with their running game with Michelle. I believe Henderson might be coming back as well, just kind of getting into that speed. I don't see this offense being stopped at all, pretty much. So yeah, give me the Rams.
Who you got, Asante?
Yeah, I'm rolling with the Rams too. That I mean, thing is, both offenses are explosive, but you know the Cardinals, they don't have D-Hop, and you know that's going to be a huge disadvantage for them. Yeah. So I'm rolling with the Rams. I just think they're more explosive. And Cooper Kupp, what a season he's been having. So I think he's going to have a big game tonight. So give me the Rams.
We'll see how Matt Stafford does, though. This is like his, second or third playoff game? He hasn't really showed that he's done a lot in these scenarios. I know he's been on the Lions, of course, but, like, you got to prove it at this point.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Since it is unanimous, I also say the Rams. I don't think I need much reason. I think y'all covered the bases for us. So with that pick being made, that means this next game in the divisional round is going to be very entertaining. We're going to have ourselves the Rams versus the Buccaneers. Asante, who do you have?
I'm rolling with Tom Brady. I think that that loss in like week 3 definitely is still in his head, and playoff time he's a different animal. And I know
he got the visor now.
And I know the Bucs are still banged up, but the way they played against us, I think that's the spark they need to go on another Super Bowl run. And I pretty much after the Falcons Super Bowl, I've never ever counted out Tom Brady from that moment. So I'm rolling with the Bucs this week, next weekend.
Who you got?
See, I would roll with you.
There we go. See, I needed somebody.
But I don't see the Eagles' defense as something that is like really great enough to stop the Bucs. And so I thought that they scored what they could have on them, but the Bucs are banged up. They don't have Chris Godwin.
Yep.
They lost Antonio Brown. They have those 3 tight ends, but really in this past game, it was only Gronk and a little bit of Brate that were getting any kind of love. Mike Evans is more than likely going to be doubled or hampered down on in some capacity. I think the Rams defense is a lot better than the Eagles. So I think when it does come to that it's going to change up a little bit. And yeah, I really don't see this Rams offense being stopped a lot. Like, somebody is going to have to outscore them to beat them. And I don't think that's the Bucs. So as much as I love Tom Brady, as much as I want to see him get 8, give me the Rams in that one if it happens.
So
If it's the Cardinals, give me the Bucs. If it's Cardinals, give me the Bucs. But if it's Rams, give me the Rams.
So once again, making the same pick I made when it came to the Chiefs game. Picking the Rams for no specific reason. Don't care about their pluses or minuses. I love OBJ. I'm loving Matt Stafford. That's not the reason why I'm picking him. I'm just going to be honest. I don't want to see the Bucs go to the Super Bowl again. That's all. That's all there is to it. That's it.
Fair.
Don't want to see it happen. It's something new. Just something new. I don't care what it is. It's something new. I actually want to see Aaron Rodgers go. So if you want to make it easier by getting the Bucs out, then let's do that. So let's go ahead. Something new. I'd love to see it. Let's make it as easy for Aaron Rodgers as possible. If that means Joe Burrow's going to his first Super Bowl, let's go ahead and do it.
Hey, Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers in the Super Bowl.
That's going to be a slinging.
In Vegas?
Yeah.
Oh,
That would be
that
beautiful.
would be fire.
That'd be
That would be
beautiful.
so fire.
But I'm sorry to tell y'all, Aaron Rodgers will win that. I'm sorry to tell y'all. But that's all we got. We're going to be back. I want to say Super Bowl weekend. Y'all want to bring this back, Super Bowl weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe a little bit early. You never know.
Yep, let's go ahead and bring this back, Super Bowl weekend. But until next time, with Kevin Jones.
Jordan.
Asante Grundy.
So, it's been fun dealing with y'all. We are D.O. Dub. Peace.